I'm back. I am the Foul Hooked Whitey. I'm coming to you not live from East Rosebud Studios in Billings, Montana. I'm actually starting a new feature this week. It's called the Foul Hooked Whitey's Fly Fishing Report. I thought, considering, my viewership is nobody, I should try to improve that a little bit and elevate this terrible fly fishing podcast to mediocre. This week on the Foul Hooked Whitey's Fly Fishing Report, in the general south central Montana area, including northern Wyoming, fishing-wise, for the most part, the fishing has sucked dick. That's crass, but that's how bad it's been. Coupled with record high temperatures, low flows, folks all over the water still. It was a tough, heart of the summer season in this region. We've been blessed with rain, but we've gotten so much rain in certain areas that it's literally blown out fisheries long after their peak runoff. This last week, things started to change. Temperatures dropped dramatically. Some afternoon rain continued. And just like always, Mother Nature took care of us. The Foul Hooked Whitey is an angler, and I hate to admit this, has been in a straight-up slump. Any angler that judges their success, no matter what that criteria is, has a standard for how their season goes. And in the summer, the Foul Hooked Whitey season has sucked. And I'm talking about catch rate, I'm talking about action, I'm talking about all of it. But this last week, I got to return to a small fishery in Wyoming with a dear friend by the name of Big Joe. And I got to walk a private, yeah, I can hear you, but yeah, private, brown trout fishery that if you're a streamer angler, there would not be a better setting. So me and Big Joe walked this fishery as friends. 500 laughs. My beautiful, annoying dog that fishes as intently as me. That's no shit. And we walked about a mile of this creek, pitching streamers, bright bugs, clear water, hard plops, fast strip, twitch, and the luxury of quality brown trout moving, taking a stab at that bug in damn near every good piece of quality water. And even though this fishery that day for the Foul Hooked Whitey and Big Joe didn't fish as good as it has in the past, I still caught my fish. I still saw my flashes. I still got fulfilled. So it's official. The Foul Hooked Whitey is out of his fishing slump. This week's rant. It's time. It's time because the Bighorn Apocalypse in Montana, is here. should have known it was coming. Everybody should have known. But at this point, on that fishery, Blue Ribbon Fishery, if you compare a river to the most beautiful woman in the world, you'd call the Bighorn River in Montana smoking hot. But under the current traffic conditions, all aspects of this fishery in terms of participation, anglers, outfitters, nonprofits, and the public. This fishery is now to the point where there's too many folks on it. You know, the Foul Hooked Whitey is a total fucking capitalist. I never got to the point where I thought I would suggest, and you know, this is a casual suggestion because nobody listens to this. But the reality of it is, from what I've heard in my ears, and that means working in a legit Montana fly shop for half a week. The Bighorn Apocalypse is here. But before any of that, fly fishing Nielsen ratings came in. And this terrible fly fishing podcast has plummeted in listenership. Sadly, this podcast is officially at 3 global listeners. Those 3 include my blood-sucking ex-wife and her attorney, and a fan by the name of Oliver K. Smith. Several weeks ago, I received a threatening email from this gentleman. Quote unquote, this fly fishing podcast is repugnant, rude, lewd, offensive, and not fit for airing in the public airwaves. And the truth is, Mr. Smith, the Foul Hooked Whitey couldn't agree with you more. And all I can say is thank you for your listenership. The Bighorn Apocalypse is discussed and suggested because at some point soon, the entities in the power that could manage more effectively the traffic on the Bighorn River in Montana. And up to this point, that really hasn't happened. It's time for Montana Fish and Game to get off their asses in conjunction with another entity or two involved in the fishery health of the Bighorn River in Montana. That organization is called the Bighorn River Alliance, and they're fucking legit. They're legit. They've raised good money. They're good advocates for the fishery. That's all they focus on. And at this point, it's time to create a study to be able to best assess how much is too much on the Bighorn River in Montana. If you don't do a study, you can't credibly go to the outfitting entities, the nonprofits, and even the public and suggest that at some point Not everybody that's there now can be there on any day they want. The Bighorn River in Montana is at its peak. And I don't mean traffic. I don't mean anglers. I mean in quality. The fish per mile, coupled with the quality per mile, is probably the best in the state of fucking Montana. And the specialty that the Bighorn River offers right now is the brown trout. There's great rainbows, but it's about the brown trout. So here the Foul Hooked Whitey is talking about setting up some sort of management as far as the traffic, the access, the right to be on the Bighorn River in Montana. Because this fishery has proven to be well worth that respect. And that's all it is. Respect to the fishery. In the Foul Hooked Whitey's opinion, proper management for that traffic on the Bighorn River is doable. Wouldn't make everybody happy, but it would make the general experience better. It would protect the fishery and the trout in that fishery. And it would make it so that everybody that's built up the commerce in the community of Fort Smith, Hardin, and even to a degree Billings, Montana, it would reward them with being the stewards of that fishery. When it comes to guiding, the Foul Hooked Whitey loves guides. Let there be no doubt. That fishery has been fucked over by hundreds of different outfitting entities over the course of a season. And that includes number one, volume. That includes number two, putting a lot of B-, C, and D+ guides on that fishery to make a fucking buck. The other thing is, the Foul Hooked Whitey knows that this fishery becomes a go-to for guides that make their general practice on the Missouri, the Madison, the Gallatin, the entire fishery of the Gallatin Valley, and every guiding entity east of where I just described. There's no more consistent fishery because of its releases and the fact that it's a tailwater than the Bighorn River. Right now, or recently, the start of this great fishery in Thermopolis, Wyoming was on voluntary closure because of recorded water temperatures in the high 60s and the low 70s. The Bighorn River in Montana is fucking cold. Even after experiencing a 6 to 7 week heat wave that's crippled a lot of fishery and hurt trout. It's a wonderful fishery worth starting to discuss what the preservation of this fishery means to those of us in the business. Even suggesting limiting folk on this fishery to some is blasphemy. And that's all I got. Part 1, the Bighorn Apocalypse. I am the Foul Hooked Whitey, and I'm out.